Yo, and welcome to the Silverwastes RIBA explanation guide. This is a simple guide to explain what RIBA is in the Silverwastes and explaining the gold farm and how it's so lucrative and what you do to make your money out of it. Here we are in the Silverwastes, and well, there goes that. And we're off to go make some money. Now, the most challenging thing, honestly, in Silverwastes is just finding a Silverwastes group. You have to be in an organized RIBA group in order for it to work. Most of the time it will say, it'll be in Central Tier Squads in the LFG, and it will say RIBA. It will say, usually it will say like Silverwastes RIBA, or it will say something. It will usually say RIBA though. That's what you're looking for. And all you'd have to do is join the group, make sure you right click on someone, and join their version of it, so you're making sure that you are in the same instance as everybody else. And then the hardest part of the farm is already done. Congratulations. The next thing is make sure you talk to the Bandit Crest Collector, and you're going to be buying as many keys as you can muster. Now look, it doesn't cost you any coins, so there's no monetary investment needed. It's all just crests. All you have to do to get crests is do events. You need to do events anyway to get other things. And they also get keys for doing events. Do events. Every event. All the events. Because this is how you get keys. And you're gonna want a lot of keys. Even more than this. I'm gonna buy a stack. Stack's nothing. You're gonna go through 250 keys, no problem. But make sure you buy keys and have keys. Keys are the most important part of this. It's how you're gonna make the majority of your money. You want keys. Okay, so now you've gathered all your keys and you're ready to do some actual farming. So why is the whole thing known as RIBA? Where does the term RIBA come from and what does it mean? It's basically representing the camps. R for Red Rock Basin, I for Indigo Cave, Blue for Blue Oasis, or B for Blue Oasis, and then A for Amber Sandfall. So what it is when they're saying RIBA, it's because everyone usually starts here, and then you go up here, then you go over here, and then you go over here, and then that's your cycle. This is the rotation, RIBA. Now the way it actually works is you have to keep moving around and helping each base, but not actually staying at one. You want to keep rotating. I'll show you how it works when we actually start in 3 minutes. I'll show you then, so let's skip ahead. So, the objective of Silverwastes is to capture the 4 camps and to hold them. The reason why you really want to hold them is that it progresses the progress bar faster, which allows you to get to like the end meta. Basically, the better we hold and the faster we hold it, the quicker things move to get more loot. So it's all about end result of more loot. So this is how it starts. Everyone usually starts here, and this is the first base you want to get. So we work as a team. You just clear things out. Not only is it helpful you actually have to do it, of course, just to move on, but it also gives you the currency you need to buy your keys and to buy your keys, really. That's all it is. Plus all your other stuff if you want the other things, but the main goal to make money, if you're doing this for farming purposes, is to buy your keys. You want your bandit crests so you can buy your keys. That's what it really just comes down to. And these chests are the main reason why you have keys. You'll see, we're going to have a lot of chests in the future. At the end of every rotation, there's a chest train. I'll show you. Alright, so Red Rock has been taken. Notice we're 1 out of 4. The goal is to get it to 4-4 and to never lose it. So yeah, so you just move on to the next one. So we did the R part in RIBA, because we did the Red Rock. Now we're on to the I, which is Indigo. So now we're in here. Help out Indigo. You always want to make sure they get captured in the RIBA order, though. You want to make sure it will mess up the cycle if any one of these are retaken out of order. Like, it's not the end of the world, but it does minimize the effective gains everyone can be making on the map. So it's good to actually, like, not break it and actually stick to the order. And now they'll probably finish this one off. If you want, I want to get credit for all 4 camps, because again, we need as many events as possible to get as much currency as possible, so we can keep buying keys. Because if you run out of keys, your money goes down dramatically. So you want to make sure you're still getting credit for everything. So make sure you want to get as much credit for every event as you possibly can, but you also don't want to ruin it for everybody else. So don't just like solo cap, because you could technically cap one of these whole buildings by yourself. It wouldn't be too difficult, but try not to do that. That's just being a jerk. Again, you don't want to be the one that messes up the rotation. So there, again, I killed one, so I can help get credit for it. All right, blue has been taken by the pact, so now we can move on. Now we can help capture this one. So yeah, so that's the main objective is now they'll capture this, and you just go this way and you just keep everything in check. So there's an event to capture, but then there's also an event to defend, and you want to get credit for both. So what you do is you come back here, and we're gonna help defend this. All right, so now we're 4 out of 4. You want to help defend each one. Because 1, if we lose it, not good. But 2, you want to get credit for each one. So I just helped defend this one. So I'll get credit for helping to defend. So I'm going to move on to the next one. And a big thing is if you see any Dahliacs like this, the pack bull, not Dahliacs, but if you see pack bulls, always help the pack bulls. This helps increase preparations. It helps the level defenses to go up, which is what you want, and it gives you, again, the event gives you currency. Next one, and you just keep on moving. Just keep on cycling through. Help any of the bulls you see, escort them. Helps a lot. And then once this bar is filled, we enter the first phase of the meta, which can give us a bunch more loot. So what I'm going to do, in order to save some time, is I'm going to skip ahead until the bar is almost full, and I'll explain the next phase and what we actually do during that phase. So I'll catch you there after a time skip. So, time skip. Quick aside, sometimes there's legendary bosses that spawn at random camps. They're usually needed for achievements. What's normally they die really, really fast. So what is normally kind is somebody will shout out in the map chat. It's usually customary to try to wait a little bit so people have a chance to come over and get actual credit for it, because there are achievements for trying to kill all the legendary bosses. So if you see any of the legendary bosses spawn, like this one, try to wait a little bit before, and then don't go full DPS. Look how fast they die. They've been power crept to oblivion. We're so powerful now compared to when this map first came out. Try to be kind, try to wait. Yeah, and rush if you need it yourself. I just thought I'd throw that out there. When the bar for foothold is almost filled, you want to be spread out at one of the 4 bases. 1, 2, 3, or 4, remember? You want to be at one of them. I'm going to choose this one since I'm already here, and it's probably going to flip here in about 30 seconds. So, when this bar fills, an event called the Breach happens. A giant hole opens underneath each one of the 4 bases, and there's a boss in them. And the bosses need to die. They don't all have to die at the same time, but they all have to at least die within the timeline, or like within the time limit given. So, I will start here, and then what you do, it's customary to go to another one once you're done. So look, see? Giant hole. hop on in. Don't worry, the water's fine. And then, yeah, you just help out. This is where I usually go. I come here next to check. Yeah, see, and they're not even close. So once all 5 are done, ta-da, ta-da, you get this. You get a bunch of loot, bunch of crests, so you can buy more keys, which is always good. But the cool thing about doing the breach is you get a key of greater nightmares. If you do everything right, you should get 2 keys per run. So that's 1 key already. So we have that. And now, now we have 2.5 minutes until the next phase starts, which is the Vinewrath. So the way Vinewrath works is that there's 3 lanes, right here, here, and here. They all have different mechanics. This has mechanics where you have to stand behind things so that when an attack happens, you don't get obliterated. There's in this lane, which is the lane I'm going to be in. The boss has an attack that destroys the entire floor, so you want to be standing on flowers. You want to stand above the floor so you don't get hit. And I believe on the second one, you want reflex help. But it doesn't really matter which one you go to. Again, we're so power crept, you're probably gonna succeed either way. So pick a lane, whichever one you're most comfortable with. This lane goes first, this lane goes second, this lane goes third. I always usually just tend to go this one because it ranged. If you have range like a bow, it's a good lane to be in. The way the lanes work is you want to make sure that you're gonna have like an oaken creature, I forget its name, but it's gonna be carrying ammunition that's used to get to the actual middle. So you want to make sure it keeps its ammunition, and you're just going to do a lot of fighting. It's very simple. You're just going to stand here and wait and kill monsters, and I'll show you. We'll do another time skip, and we'll go when it gets started. Alright, so then you have this little cutscene. You can just skip it, but we'll just watch it for the sake of this video. That's the Vinewrath. Lets you know that things have begun. It started. So see, a Boreal Siege Carrier, that's us, and then the ammunition. You want to make sure it has ammunition. There's a little thing down here. Each one does a little thing to restock it. It's pretty simple, it's pretty basic, it's not very complicated. You just protect it and make sure it keeps going. If you see that your little carrier is getting attacked, you want to kill the mobs that are attacking it. And yeah, they're the only things that can get through the walls. So during the phase and while we're waiting for our actual turn, you just want to do this. You just fight. Stay here. Slay the monsters. Defend. Eventually, the first lane will get through. They will have their actual fight, and then it will move on, and you'll see. If all 3 lanes, if ultimately we lose 15 carriers, then we flat out lose the event. That rarely ever happens. Maybe once in a blue moon, we might lose 1. But if you're in a map that's actually organized, like an actual RIBA map, that's most likely not going to happen. It's not a reality you're going to have to really worry about. But here you go, see? A nearby assault squad is fighting. So this is very similar. This actually came out after the Marionette back in the day, and this was sort of inspired by the Marionette, which they just recently added back to the game. It's basically the idea of having lanes and forcing people to split up and have different tactics and different plans per lane. So yeah, so we're just gonna, this is basically all you do. You just wait. I'm gonna time skip again when it's my turn to go in. So right now you can see they're fighting. Yeah, we'll just time skip ahead to when it's our lane's turn to go in there and crush it. Alrighty, so it's my turn. So our lane goes in. can see. So even though the Vinewrath itself is technically that giant flower thing, it's basically 3 little mini bosses that we all fight. Again, this is very, very much like the marionette. Again, this came out shortly after the marionette stuff, so it's not that surprising. But yeah, so you do this, you fight them. Again, we've been so power crept, it's really not too bad. Things die pretty fairly, pretty quickly, not too difficult. So there you go, and then you get your big chest. You can just skip this cutscene, or you can watch it. We'll watch it for the sake of the video. Vinewrath dead. Da-da-da-da-da-da, victory. And then you get your big chest, you get a bunch of little chests. In that big chest will be another of those nightmare keys, so you should have at least 2 nightmare keys now. And I'll show you where to use those. But yeah, so I have 24 now, but I'll show you where you use them. But before we worry about that, the first part of this whole thing is the chest farm. Now, the chest farm is where you can get most of your loot. This is how you get a lot of your stuff right here. This requires all your keys. So you do all the events beforehand to get currency so you can buy the keys needed for this part of the thing. So, because what's coming up now is the chest run. You just run around. There's a few dedicated spots most people know where to go. You just check them out, see if the chests are there. We're kind of ahead of everybody right now, so. And also, sometimes there'll usually be like a commander who's actually leading it themselves. So, all right. So let's say, okay, let's say you want to go and turn in your keys. You want to use your greater nightmare keys. Usually what I'd recommend is wait until you have a bunch, or some people like to just use them every time. It's up to you personally. I like to save things, but let's say, so what you need to do is you need to go over here. If the waypoint is contested, you're not going to be able to waypoint there. So you can try to use the script tunnel right here. You enter this tunnel, and it will pop you up here if you don't have a mount. You go through here, you're going to go past the Outliers Foundry, and you're going to follow this mark and go down here. Here's the waypoint. It's currently contested though. Now you go over here, because down here is where the chest is. So I have, for the sake of people not having a mount, I'll show what you do when you don't have a mount. This whole thing is like Pac-Man. Think of it as your Pac-Man, and these are the ghosts, and if those ghosts get you, you're gonna die. So you grab this little orb thing, and you have this little radiate, and just head straight up. And if one of these dogs try to get you, just boop, and he'll be paralyzed, and then just go. I'm not sure why I turned back to, oh, my timer went up. All right. Yeah, you come up here, and this is the actual nightmare pod up here in the middle. So what it is you open it. Look at all this. You get all this. One open. One key gave me all this. Gave me 3 bags and loot. Look at that. So that's two keys, 6 bags. And I have multiple keys. So I had 24 keys. There's like a 3-second delay each time you open it. You just sort of have to it's just how it is. Don't know why. I bet everyone would feel much better if it didn't exist. But there's a 3-second or 4-second timer on it. Yeah, just keep pressing F and look at all these. Look at all these bags. Look at all these bags. So yeah, this is the Greater Nightmare chest. This is where the Greater Nightmare key goes. It's worth opening. As you can see, I'm getting tons of stuff, tons of chests. I mean, tons of loot, tons of bags, bags and bags and bags and bags. Perfect. So when you're done here, the best thing I think to do is you could walk out. If the waypoint's still contested, it's not so great. I would just go back to Camp Resolve, and I would just continue your chest farm. If there's a commander, you could just head towards the commander. There doesn't seem to be one right now for this, so I'm just gonna follow my general rotation. Eventually, the timer will end, so we have like about 3 minutes left. And when you get down to about the last minute, everyone meets back at R. You know, again for RIBA, everyone starts back here at Red Rock, and you do the whole cycle again. Do the defense bases, keep running around doing as many events as you can, escorting the bulls, get any chests you can, get every event, so you have credit for every single one. Make sure you don't pre-cap any base. Make sure you stick to the RIBA format, and yeah, and then you just repeat the cycle. That is the Silverwastes RIBA farm guide. It's pretty good loot at not too much effort. It's pretty relaxed farm. It's nothing too intensive, and it's very excellent. Again, if you're a free-to-play player and you only have access to the core continent, this is a good, easy way to get gold. Thank you guys so much for the likes and the subscribes. It means so much to me. I really do appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next guide. Till then, keep on grinding, getting that money, and stay super.